Buongiorno. We went around for Sunday roast to see my sister-in-law yesterday, and as often is the case, when they cook chicken, they send me home with the carcass. And this is the carcass of a fresh chicken from a small holding next door to where they live, and it's even tastier than normal. So what I'm going to do today, I'm going to be making a broth with some pasta, and incredibly healthy, incredibly tasty, so just stay with me, something you could replicate in future if you wish. Place the carcass in a big enough pot. This one is just the right size. Also, you can see that very kindly Jenna left me some meat as well, which is great. Add a bay leaf. This is fresh from my garden, picked a couple of minutes ago. I have boiled some water and I'm going to pour it in. I will be pouring approximately 1.5 litre, and effectively that'll be 3/4 full. Add a little salt, a little pepper. Put the lid on and take it to the boil. In the meanwhile, I'll be preparing some vegetables. I've got a couple of potatoes, 1 carrot, 1 red onion. You can also use a white onion, personal choices, and a couple of tomatoes and a little chili pepper. Perfect. The water is boiling, so I will be turning the temperature down on a low heat, number 3 out of 9 in my case, and I'll put the lid on and I'll leave it to simmer now for a good half an hour. Pour a little olive oil in a separate pan and chop your potatoes. I'm going to do mine fairly small in little cubes. In little cubes they will cook quicker and they will blend in better with the rest of the vegetables. Chop your carrot, don't do it too thinly. I'm doing mine in 1/2 centimeter thick each slice. Also I cut them mine like this because they're prettier. So you cut them which way you like. The onion also, cut it in fairly large chunks. Couple of tomatoes. Again, these are optional, but they will add some color and a little flavor. No more than a couple though if you do use them. However, I will put them on one side and I will add them later. I got a little rosemary from my garden. Again, I've just picked it, and I'll just give it a rough chop, and I'll put it in as well. So everything goes in with the exception of the tomatoes at this stage. I will add a little pepper. I nearly forgot my chili pepper. Again, this is mild, so I will just add a little. And because it's mild, you can leave the seeds as well. There. I've turned the heat on maximum, and the vegetables have been seasoning now for a couple of minutes. I will be placing the lid on, and I will be turning the temperature down on a medium heat for most probably the next 10 to 15 minutes, which should coincide with the chicken being ready. Perfect. The vegetables are nearly done. They do not have to be completely cooked, so I will be removing them from the heat as they will be cooking again with the broth. And the chicken is also finished. Bearing in mind that it was already cooked, I have effectively made some broth. I tend to lift it and get rid of all of the broth and all the water, and put it on my board to cool down for a few minutes. Go and find your bay leaf from the stock, there it is, and dispose of it. And gently, with the help of a spatula, otherwise you could burn yourself with the hot water, put in your vegetables with the broth. Excellent. The chicken has cooled down. Jenna, my sister-in-law, was incredibly kind. She left lots of meat in it. So using your fingers, just pull as much meat as you can and add it to your broth. Ensure you don't get any bones in there by mistake. I mentioned that this was a chicken homegrown, and the meat was a little bit tougher, but incredibly tasty. And I think today it's going to taste even better as we have cooked it further. You might need to get a little bit brutal. Poor thing. They are personal choices. You could also add some sausages to this, but bearing in mind that I'm trying to make use of leftover food, I just want to stick to chicken. I just finished. As you will be able to see, there's quite a lot of meat here. Thank you, Jenna. But if you're planning on doing this, nothing stops you when you are carving the chicken to purposely leave some meat, because it will add an incredible amount of flavor to your broth when you're done. I'll tidy up. As you will see, I've made the most of it. Not a pretty sight, but promise I'll tidy up and I'll be right back. Perfect. After a quick tidy up, I have put the water back on the boil. To ensure that it boils quicker, place the lid on and it will get to a boiling temperature much quicker. And it's looking really good. It smells absolutely wonderful. And I will be putting the pasta next. I've chosen to use conchiglie, which is the Italian for shells. I like to use small pasta with this dish. You could use macaroni, for example, or you could also use the orzo pasta. This was Julie's choice as well, so I gave her the first refusal and she wanted conchiglie. You can also do it with rice. My son was telling me earlier that he's done it as well, and he uses rice. He makes a little risotto. So clearly entirely up to you, but I will be using shells, and these are 250 grams, as it will be 3 of us eating tonight. There is potatoes here, there is carrots, so I think also there's a bit of chicken. I didn't want to do more than 250 grams. So just pour it in. Follow the cooking instructions of the pasta, because clearly this is no different than cooking pasta in normal water, but it should take approximately 8 to 9 minutes. I will also be checking for salt. I have not added any more salt since the beginning. I don't need any, it's perfect, but this is the time to add some salt if you wanted to make it a little bit saltier. The pasta has been cooking for 5 minutes and still not cooked, but this is when I'm going to be adding my chopped tomatoes. I'm leaving it until now because I want them to retain a little bit of their shape. And while you wait, of course, you can always have a sip of Tortellino tea. Okay, the pasta is nearly ready. I'll just taste a little. It is al dente, so what I'll do, I'll put the lid on and I'll turn the heat off completely, and I will leave it now for 3 minutes to completely finish cooking in its own heat. And I will remove it also from the hob. Perfect, we're there. I will be serving a portion. Smell is absolutely wonderful. So you can see there is a mixture of potatoes, carrots, vegetables, and of course quite a generous amount of chicken. See, the onion is looking nice, it's red. Of course you can use white onion, but it does add a nice color to the dish. Don't forget a little bit of the broth. Optional, but if you like it, fully recommend it. Add a little parmesan to it. Not a lot, just enough to give it a little flavor. That's perfect. And it goes without saying, a little olive oil on top. there is only one thing left to do, and that is to taste it. So let's give it a shot. As you can see, the tomato has retained its shape, which is exactly what I wanted. I'm not going to say it, but I am going to say deliziosa, absolutely wonderful, really nice, especially on a cold day, even on a hot day. Again, a very easy way to make the most of leftover chicken. If you plan ahead, leave some meat, and incredibly tasty. Thank you, Jenna. Thank you, Mr. Chicken, for being so good to us and feeding so many people, but also being so versatile. Ciao ciao for now, and until next time, arrivederci. Bye.